One of the biggest challenges purchasing out of state or even out of the country is finding an acceptable community to live in, and obviously being able to purchase a home without making 7 trips to that destination. And hopefully that destination is Arizona, right? In this video, I have 9 helpful tips for purchasing a home sight unseen, and stick around to the last 2 because you'll want to know how to check out a neighborhood without even being here. And at the end, I'll leave a little nugget for you on how to get out of contract if you don't like the home once you arrive for your inspection period. Because let's face it, you do have to come on, see the house at least once in person, and I suggest doing that during the inspection period. If it's your first time to my channel, feel free to subscribe, and I come up with some pretty awesome content on a weekly basis, and I try to make the process of moving to Arizona a little bit easier for you, and you can always reach out to me with any questions. I'm pretty responsive and pressure-free, so feel free to reach out to me anytime by phone, text, or email. And with that, let's get to it. So number 1, visit the area at least once, and don't do it in the dead of summer to see if you can stand the heat. The heat here really sucks. And I know this is a video on purchasing sight unseen, but wherever you move to, you, in my opinion, really need to make sure that's the right place for you. And when I moved here, I came out to Arizona. I absolutely loved it here. This was the first place I had visited where I didn't want to leave. I came on like a 4-day vacation, and usually you get a little bit homesick and you're like, hey, I want to go home. I kind of, even if you're in paradise, you're like, hey, I want to leave. And I just knew my family and I had to get back here. And I remember waking up in the hotel room and just sitting on the balcony in Scottsdale, and it wasn't a great view or anything, but just the air, I could smell the air. It was a beautiful April morning. And I just thought to myself, wow, my family and I, we really need to get back here. We need to sell our home in Illinois, and we need to get back here as soon as possible. And I didn't want to leave, and it was very depressing. And every time I leave here and I go back to Chicago, it's very depressing. So please, wherever you move, visit it at least once. Make sure that it's the place for you and that you don't want to leave. And yeah, hopefully that will help. So visit at least once. Pretty obvious, I know. And I say don't come in June or July to see if you can stand the heat, because imagine if you're visiting your area. I'm assuming it snows where you live, just because it seems like everybody's escaping where it's snowing and dreary. Imagine if you visited that for 4 days. Obviously, you'll think it's not that bad because you only have to put up with it for a few days. So numero dos, find the community that you want to live in. Now, you can Google different communities here because there's a lot of information. The HOAs provide a lot of information on their websites. And unlike where I'm from, if you Google Brookfield, Illinois, you can only find their really crappy village website, which doesn't tell you a whole lot. So definitely look on the websites, look, on Realtor.com, find out what different amenities each community has, and look at the school ratings and all that, and make sure that it's the community that you want to be in. And now, when I say community, I mean neighborhood. So like, I live in Power Ranch. You can Google Power Ranch. You can find a lot of information on Power Ranch. Gilbert is obviously the town that Power Ranch is in, so you can just kind of figure those as like almost states, and then you're looking at the different cities within each state that you want to, live in. Another option would be to watch all my super awesome YouTube videos, or even shoot me a message for a video walkthrough of whatever community you want to live in. That's right, I'm willing to go do a community video for you. My favorite communities are those built in the 2000s or later. They have a better vibe, and the HOAs do a better overall job in maintaining the landscaping, the quality of the homes, how they look, and the overall vibe of the community. Now, number 3, we're on number 3 now. Check crime stats. Obviously, you're not familiar with the area. How can you be comfortable with where you are without knowing these simple statistics? Well, let me tell you about a few resources you can check out. One is spotcrime.com. And this will kind of give you an idea of recent crimes in the area you're looking to move to. Another resource is neighborhoodscout.com. This will show you a color-coordinated map with high crime and low crime areas to kind of give you a quick perspective on where it would be safe to live. So this color-coded map is going to show you what it believes are the best schools and other information as well, like demographics and more. So it's a very useful website. If you're moving to Phoenix, you can go to their website, which is phoenix.gov/police/resources-information/crime stats maps. I'll have that down below. And it's going to tell you hotspots of where crimes have been committed as well. So, and also some of the city pages, town pages will also have that information for you. So moving on to number 4. Check out where the check into cash and auto loan title stores are. Now, some people like living where there are residents trading in their titles for quick cash. Figure out if that's where you want to live, and while you're at it, look up pawn shops. Hey, maybe you enjoy hanging out at pawn shops, you love the show Pawn Stars, or you just love looking at inventory on a daily basis. If you truly love pawn shops, maybe living by a pawn shop is important to you. You get where I'm going with this. Number 5, if you have children, I'd check out the most recent sex offender registry website to see where child predators are mostly concentrated. Seems obvious, but hey, most people don't look. Here's a great resource you can check out, www.familywatchdog.us. Now, one thing I do want to say, kind of taking a tangent here, when you're looking up all this information, is don't get freaked out because it looks like it's a lot no matter where you're looking. And you're going to be like, whoa, there's like one down the block. There's one here. There's one there. So take a look at your own neighborhood kind of as a basis to see where, you know, where the crime is, where the sex offenders are, and, you know, take a look at that. And then when you're looking at the place that you're looking to move to, then look at that place, because you're going to want something to go by to gauge. And obviously every place is not perfect. There's a lot of weirdos in America. I think we can all agree on that. So yeah, just make sure that you're at least looking at your neighborhood and then comparing that to where you're moving. I think that will help rather than just looking at one neighborhood that you're looking to move to, because you're probably going to get freaked out if you do that. So something to keep in mind. So number 6, get a search set up. Hey, your realtor should be able to set you up with a search with your criteria that you want. Some factors to keep in mind. Typically, newer homes have smaller lots and they're trying to fit 10 pounds of feathers into a 5-pound bag. What'd you think I was going to say? Homes that were built in the early 2000s or prior may need some updating as well, so keep that in mind. Number 7, have your realtor set up virtual showings and make sure they have a wide-angle lens as opposed to a narrow lens. This will help you get a better idea of the home. Your realtor can either do a Zoom, Facebook Live, or upload a YouTube video of the property. For my clients, I'll even walk through the neighborhood and record and even provide some drone footage and footage of the surrounding areas like the grocery stores and even the schools without looking like a weirdo. I have a ton of stock footage, so it's pretty easy to show my clients. I had one client recently request a video of Sun City Festival, which is literally on the other side of Arizona, and so I just went up there and did an entire video walkthrough of it, and he didn't even use me as his realtor, so that was kind of a bummer. But anyways, number 8, join the community Facebook group. Some may require that you actually live there, but believe it or not, most don't. Maybe say you're under contract if they really give it to you, or if they're questioning you, or tell them you're going to be renting. It's up to you, but this will give you a good idea of the vibe of the community, if there's any issues with the HOA, crime, or other pressing matters, and it should give you a pretty good feel for what the current residents are like based on the language they use in there. Should be pretty easy to see if it's the right community for you and if you'd get along with the people that are within the community. Number 9, the last and final tip here today. Thank you for sticking it out if you're still here. Appreciate that. use Google Earth or Google Maps. You can actually use the little Google guy. What you do is you kind of take him, put him wherever you want him to walk around. And if it's a gated neighborhood, you're not going to be able to go in there. But most of the other neighborhoods, you can just take the Google guy, put him around, and scope out where you're interested in purchasing. I suggest looking at the home conditions, such as the driveway and the paint on the home. And vehicles parked in the driveway is always a little bit of an indication because, I mean, after all, if there's a Lamborghini parked in the driveway, you're probably going to want to live there, right? Because Lamborghinis are awesome and people that own them are awesome. You're going to want to see the landscaping and just get an overall feel for the community and make sure it's someplace visually that you'd want to be in. So let's say you use Ryan's 9 tips on how to purchase sight unseen, you get under contract, and what do you do? So basically, I have another video on that. So it tells you a little bit about the Arizona purchase contract and how it allows you to get out of your contract if you're not digging the home. And I just had that happen. I had a client that it wasn't my client, but we had put a bid on the house. It was listed at $595-ish, somewhere around there. We went in at like $682. We went at $682. You think we'd get this house? And I guess another offer came in $699. So this house went for over $100,000 over asking, sight unseen. Somebody came out and decided they did not want to purchase the home because, you know, they have certain ways to get out of the contract, which please watch this video and I'll go ahead and show you. But these things happen. They came back to us and said, hey, do you want to purchase this house? And my clients were like, no, we're already under contract. Thank you very much. So anyways, kind of stinks for the listing agent, but they're going to have to put that home back on the market and try to get what they can get for it. Hey, thanks for watching. For more videos on escaping to Arizona, just click that subscribe button to stay in the loop.